Before somebody says it, I know that my in-ear monitors are on backwards. I like how it feels this way. If I was doing something professional, performing, or if I was playing the drums or something, obviously I would put them on the correct way where they're backwards. But yeah, just before somebody, just goes, hey, there, shut up. I know. Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I wanted to make a slight follow-up to the iDubbbz content cop thing because there's a lot of people that I feel like I just want to talk about propaganda, and there's a lot of people that don't understand that they're being lied to, and it's really annoying and it's really sad. It's why when people hear the word terrorist, they immediately think about a Middle Eastern person. They think about, like, say, some black attire or something like that, when a terrorist can that definition can fit so many people and so many regimes and so many countries and their military, and but that's just how it is. It's been beaten into people's brains. And so I felt like I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to go over some things, because there were some people that were like, oh, debate me, bro. And I just think, like, first of all, the debate culture that they subscribe to is trash. I hate it because it's pointless. And a lot of these people that always want that are usually propagandists that have an agenda, and all they want is to spread their agenda. It's not about coming to an understanding. They don't want to have like an actual discussion, which I think can be fruitful. But no, they always say debate. They just want to be right, and they just want to spew their talking points. Because to me, I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck about that. What is important to me is humanity and its preservation, caring about people. And these people don't care about people. It's one of the reasons why, like, say, you've seen Destiny, the streamer. He's been villain maxing. He's said, like, his pro-Zionism. He's completely fine with the genocide. He's like, he's completely okay with it. There's plenty of clips. You can see it in, out of context. It still sounds just as bad, whether it's isolated or you just actually watch it himself and you're like, oh, shit.
Honestly, I'm pro-genocide. It sounds really shitty, but, like, I think that Israel should just drop its fucking borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place. That's really shitty, but, like, that's about where I'm at. I don't know,
you just think the Palestinians should just pack up and Native American the fuck out of there?
The problem is that it seems like there is a hugely general hostility to Jewish people across really the entire world. Definitely.
Cool. You gotta love those Zionist talking points, man. It reminds me of something else. The South African apartheid. Or you can see, like, this dude is trying so hard to villain Max that even when the evidence is staring him in the face, it goes over his head because he has an agenda. So here's a perfect example of debate bro culture and people just not conceding to horrible talking points and propaganda that they're spewing. And I just want to show you this, and we'll all comment.
Every time they target a kid, I'm sure they believe it's Hamas. When they killed the 4 kids
they believe.
Yeah, I know they believed it, even though they were diminutive size. Even though they were diminutive.
From that angle, you don't see the size.
From that angle, you don't see the size. More propaganda talking points. That's crazy.
No, they saw
you
the
don't
size.
see the size.
Let's see the size.
Oh, I know what he's quoting correctly. You've lied about this particular instance in the past. Those kids
Here we go.
weren't just on the beaches as often stated in articles. Those kids were literally coming out of a previously identified Hamas compound that they had operated from. They literally did. You can Google it.
All right, now watch this. What's about to happen is basically what you got: propaganda explanation versus verified facts.
Mr. Borelli, with all due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrifying. That wharf was filled with journalists. There were scores of journalists. That was an old fisherman's shack.
Now, what he just said is completely 100% true, verified. You can fact check it yourself. What do you think Destiny's going to do?
What are you talking about? It's so painful.
Hamas naval.
It's so painful to listen to this idiocy.
And to be clear, on the other side, you're implying that a strike was okay.
So you see how, look, that did not acknowledge that big fuck up at all. Didn't acknowledge even a little bit. And this is how debate culture goes. Boom. Right here. Dead to rights. Here's something that you completely misunderstand. And now he's going to turn the head. And it's like, are you not even going to question your knowledge on the situation if you got this thing demonstrably incorrect. And what happens in debate culture, they just keep steamrolling forward instead of being, I need you to concede on this. This is going to be fact checked in real time, and you are going to concede to this. This is not how debate culture works, and this is why I think it's a large waste of time. And I want to give you one other example.
In 2018, there was the Great March of Return in Gaza. By all reckonings of human rights organizations and journalists who were there, it was overwhelmingly nonviolent.
All right. This is really important. Overwhelmingly nonviolent. Not completely nonviolent, overwhelmingly nonviolent. That is very important.
As you know, along the Gaza perimeter, there was Israel's best trained snipers, correct?
I don't know best trained. There were snipers.
Fine.
Snipers.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right?
I don't know if they're the best.
Hey, laugh. It's hilarious. The story's so funny.
You're lying about
it's
the Great March of Return
funny.
Had aspects of violence to it. According, even the UN says it themselves.
Did you just hear what he said? There was, oh my God.
Okay.
Listen.
But you only collect
He said he's lying. He didn't lie. And watch what Destiny's going to do.
He says that you like.
You see, the problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language. You don't.
I can read from the UN website itself. In regards to the
Watch this.
Great March of Return, they said, while the vast majority of protesters have acted in a peaceful manner.
Overwhelmingly peaceful. While the vast majority. Do you understand how stupid Destiny is? I don't know how he tricked people into thinking this guy's intelligent. He's like, Finkelstein's trying to be like, you don't understand the English language. This motherfucker reads out of his own mouth, while the vast majority, overwhelmingly. And it's like, bro, this is why I fucking hate debates. This is why I don't fuck with debate culture, because stupid bitches like this guy do shit like this, and they're so goddamn stupid that they don't even catch themselves. They don't even catch themselves. And I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time doing that shit. I wouldn't put up with that shit. And then you know what would happen? People would be like, oh, Derek lost because he left. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and think whatever you think, you fucking retards. If you don't care about the Palestinians and care about what's happening to them, and if you're like, whatever, then it's like, what is there to discuss? Because this isn't about like, oh, should this happen? Oh, should we just classify this as war and not a genocide because war is hell? Like, I'm like semantical bullshit that propagandists always trying to do. Or can we just agree that this should not be happening anymore? In this day and age where we are, people shouldn't be going to war at all anymore. People shouldn't be needlessly slaughtered. That's all I want to focus on. And if you don't want to focus on that, we have nothing to discuss. If they're like, it's always these people that like the biggest cowards that try to make these semantical arguments about this shit. People that try to be like, well, it's just war. And I'm like, you don't know fuck all about war. You wouldn't ever fight a war. You've never fought in a battle. You've never probably gotten into a fight. I don't give a fuck about your dumbass opinion on that shit, because I don't want to go to war. I don't want to shoot people. I don't want to do that. I want that shit to cease completely. But there's a lot of people that think, oh no, these guys, brown people, bad. They are terrorists. They are the bad guys. They are coming after these people who are the good guys, and they will never stop. So we need to eradicate them. That is Israel's talking points. That is Benjamin Netanyahu's talking points. That is you fucking interview the people on the street, which many people have done, and they're like, yeah, I've been taught, like, they have been taught that, oh, these people are gonna grow up to be terrorists. That's why they don't care about their babies being killed. They're like, well, that's good because they were gonna grow up to be terrorists anyways. Those are the arguments that they bring forth. Those were the same arguments that happened with the apartheid in South Africa. The exact same arguments. And it's just like, it's wild seeing this stuff happen again and again throughout history. Nobody learns shit. And it just annoys me how good propaganda is, how well it works. And it works so well because people cannot think critically. People on average are very stupid, very suggestible, very easy to control. People don't like to, you've heard like the phrase, big if true. I like that phrase because what that should show you is, oh, that's interesting information that you brought forward. It's a big claim you just made. And it's saying big if true, but maybe that means you're curious enough that you should go check it out and see if it actually is true. But usually people don't do the big if true. They're just like, that's crazy. They're like Joe Rogan now, where like they just hear anything and he's just like, that's crazy, man. Just accepts it at face value. And sometimes Jamie will push back, but not enough. Not enough, man. And talking about Jamie fact-checking is a whole nother subject that I want to tackle one of these days, because Jamie Vernon, a lot of people think that he does a good job fact-checking Joe Rogan, but it's actually extremely selective. And I just theorize maybe it's because he doesn't want to rock the boat too much. But I feel like most times when he has the opportunity to really break through to Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan just spews propaganda nonstop. All the talking points that got him to be like, oh, I'm going to endorse Donald Trump. It was just all propaganda. It was just all fucking lies. Verifiable lies that you can just be like, oh man, he's just going hard in the paint on lies. And then Jamie just sits back. But then when it's something a little light, right? It's something a little light. It's not a big deal. Then Jamie will be like, hey, Joe, this isn't true. And Joe will be like, oh, and he just keeps getting tricked over and over and over again. But like the most important stuff, say maybe like, one of the people who's probably going to be the president of the United States, maybe you want to actually fact check him a little bit. Maybe you don't want him to lie relentlessly on your platform. Be like, oh, I never said lock Hillary up. I never said that. And then cue a fucking compilation of him obviously saying it over and over again.
I didn't say lock her up.
Lock her up is right.
I didn't say lock her up.
For what she's done, they should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Crooked, you should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Lock up Hillary.
I could have put crooked Hillary
I respected that you didn't, because what you said was it would be bad for the country.
If she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial.
Guilty. That is Donald J. Trump, defendant in New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty on all 34 felony counts. That is the verdict here in this case.
By the way, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. I've had the opportunity to have him on my show more than once. I've said no every time. I don't want to help him.
And like I said, that'll be a subject for another day. But I just had to, this is about propaganda and why people keep falling for it. It's it's unfortunate. And I hate it. We are just in a day and age where it's just really upsetting that people are still being so tribal. Tribalism is really terrible. And you would think that because of the advancements we've made in technology that we're able to come together. It's like every sci-fi trope, right? Where humanity comes together because we realize there's so much more out there that it's so silly for us to be like we're different when we're actually the human race, right? So all these little differences of like, oh, you live a little bit right here and you live a little bit right here and all that stuff, it just becomes pointless. And I feel like we obviously should be there at this point. But people that are in control, people that love to consolidate wealth, understand how to control people by dividing them, keeping them tribal, keeping the people at each other's throats. People funnel all this money into keeping people divided, and it works so well when I feel like it shouldn't. Because almost everybody has a cell phone nowadays. It's so easy to cut through the bullshit. But most people are still content with listening to propagandists. Most people are still content with listening to legacy media, and now the new media, which was independent media, has been co-opted as well. There's so many people that just don't realize it. Even when it gets exposed, there's many people that still don't care to accept the truth. I mean, I think about something like Tim Pool, for example, and Tenet Media, all the people under Tenet Media. Remember all those people? What was it? Lauren Southern, Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin. So it was Tim Pool and somebody else. Like, there was Lauren Shin's company with her husband, Tenet Media, and it was just funded by Russia, right? They thought it was some random billionaire named Eduard Gregorian that didn't have any backstory to him other than this stupid website that was put together probably with Squarespace or something. And that was good enough for these people to take millions of dollars, getting hundreds of thousands of dollars a week to change almost nothing. But just to continue the talking points, the pro-Russia talking points, that was essentially the only thing that they counted on. And they did it. You know, you have infamous Tim Pool pounding on the desk being like, Ukraine is the enemy.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
I thought this was just going to be the clip.
Our nation right now.
I thought this was just going to be a clip. I didn't know people edited this.
Ukraine. They are expanding this war.
Edward Gregorian.
I know.
It's fucking awesome.
You've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do.
Actually, I don't know who that is.
Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
Yep, $400,000 a week for that. Good job, Tim. Good job, you fucking traitor. Well, yeah, that's why you're getting paid the big bucks by Russia, right? They still all have fans. All those nobody abandoned them. They got exposed by getting paid by a Russian entity. Even if it turns out that guy Edward Gregorian was real and they were just getting paid by this billionaire. Well, they're not independent. They're completely compromised. You take that type of money, you're completely compromised, right? It's just like, but they don't care about that shit. They're just like, I like the propaganda that they're spewing, and I want to continue listening. It's even to the point when Tim Pool got blown the fuck out by Sam Cedar of the Majority Report. This was a few months back, right? Sometime last year. And if you look at the comment section, it was overwhelmingly like about just like, man, Tim Pool doesn't know what he's talking about. Wow, Tim Pool is so stupid. Like, I can't believe this. Like, his own fans. This isn't like people are like, yo, Tim, I normally like Tim, but damn, he got destroyed. Like, I'm talking about 98% out just Tim Pool getting eviscerated. And he was really upset. Like, he told Sam Cedar while Sam was still there. He's like, Jesus, man. He was really upset about that. But I don't know why he was upset about it, because nothing happened to Tim. It's not like he lost his audience. It's not like he got blown the fuck out so badly that all of a sudden all these people abandoned him, because those people don't fucking care. They immediately, the next day, they reset and they're like, wake up in the morning, you know, get their coffee going, sit on the toilet, pull up a Tim Pool video. Even after it was just proven that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, they'll still continue to listen to him. Just like with Destiny. You prove this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, they're still going to listen. And it's like, oh, how do you combat that? How do you cut through to that when there are people that actually are cutting through, but then they're not? You know? It's just like, I just don't understand at this point. It's like, how does this shit still work? You know? You wonder, it's like, how does this work? And I want to talk about this, but I'll probably do it in another video. About a piece that I saw. It was like a picture, and it was Hassan's orbiters. It was these people, and it was just accusing them of these things that they've done. And the things that I've seen, I'm like, there's so much nuance left from this. It's a meme, it's a photo. So obviously there's a lot of stuff left out of it. But it's surface level cookie cutter propaganda bullshit. And people can't think critically. And it's like, explaining stuff, it needs more time than people are willing to invest in it. It's like this video. It's probably gotten to a length right now that a lot of people will check out, because when it comes to politics, they're like say if they're like normie-esque, right? They're like, this is a little bit too much for me. I just need, like, you know, a less than a minute clip that's going to be posted on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever the fuck. Right? It's not the people, and to be honest, there's a lot of people that are into politics that actually consume large videos, but what they do now, it's just on in the background. So they're tuning in and out, and they're not getting the full picture of stuff. Like, there will be some people that are doing their due diligence and laying all the information, all the facts out, but people are only getting little tidbits, and then say when it's time to question somebody about that stuff, they're not armed with the knowledge because they were tuning in and out. And I think this happens a lot. I honestly, you know, just to briefly talk about Ethan Klein, because this is all, stemming from that stuff. What's going on between Ethan Klein and Hassan Piker, that obvious vendetta that's happening. I feel like Ethan Klein is somebody who likes to just tune in and out. I feel like he's someone who likes to have things nice and neatly packaged for him. So he goes to the Destiny subreddit and stuff adjacent to that. And they have other people that have prepared stuff for him. And then he watches it and he's like, this is great. I'm going to use this. Instead of being like, big if true, let me verify that this all checks out. No, he doesn't do that. Because at the end of the day, he's become a normie. Like, he's never been that deep into politics in the first place. So he's always approached politics as a normie. So I'm not expecting him to do that, but if he's going to focus on this shit, now he should do that. You can't operate the same way if you're going to dive headfirst into politics. And that is the biggest problem with these commentary creators. They get involved. All they do is talk about drama, right? I don't give a fuck about that. That's fine. But then they'll talk about like Israel-Palestine because Hassan, right? Because they want to slap Hassan on the thumbnail and get hundreds of thousands of views. I get milking people. That's what they do. But I'm like, now you want to talk about this? Get the fuck out of here. You don't know anything about this. You know nothing about this. Not a fucking lick. And then you have dumbass people that will absorb these videos thinking that this was good. This was good. I'll be like, no, this shit's laughable. It's like Ethan's content nuke. It's fucking laughable. Filled to the brim with propaganda. It's embarrassing. Even if I was a fucking Zionist, I'd be like, God damn, Ethan, this is the best you got? Like, I appreciate you using a lot of our talking points, but man, I feel like there's much better ways to reinforce this, especially to appeal to people who are empathetic to the slaughter of innocent people. There are ways we can frame this better to at least try to tug at their heartstrings more. No, it didn't work. That's why you looked at the content cop of Ethan Klein, of H3. That shit got more views in 2 days than Ethan Klein's own content nuke of Hassan Piker within however many months ago that shit came out. It's because people that are paying attention to this right now mostly care about people. They're empathetic to people, which in turn they're empathetic to the Palestinians that are being needlessly slaughtered right now and ethnically cleansed. And that's what this is all about at the end of the day. And that's why it's like when it comes to propaganda, and that's why when it comes to people wanting to debate me, I'm like, I am uninterested, because those people that are coming forth are not interested in preserving life. Not in a fucking stupid, mindless Christian way where it's like they only care about fetuses, but just people in general that are just already here living and breathing, functioning with a conscience, and all they want to do is just get by day to day and care and support their family. Right? It is foolish and it is childish to think that these people in the Middle East are just evil. They're just sitting there like they're Saturday morning cartoon villains that are evil for the sake of being evil. No, man. A lot of these people got put in fucked up situations and then now they're behaving this way. That's the reality. It is not condoning, it is an understanding. If people have been fucking with you for years, then you're radicalizing people. It sucks. It should stop. A lot of people understand this, that, hey, let's stop going over there and killing all their people. You know, American imperialism, fucking just Zionism. Pick which regime, pick which conquest. That shit should stop, man. We're at this point where we're all connected around the world so easily via our phones and computers. This shit shouldn't be happening anymore. And that's my main point. That it is fucking baffling to me that propaganda still works so well. It's like, how? Why? Why does this work so well still? I mean, I know why. I do know why. I just feel like we should have cut through the problems that we face, which is a lack of education, poverty, faith. These are big things. You know, and the last one is disrespectful to a lot of people, but it's just the truth. It's so true that, and I'll probably reiterate this again when I talk about some propaganda of Hassan's orbiters and stuff, is that the way that people get controlled is by keeping them poor, keeping them stupid, and keeping them faithful. Because blind faith is a way to just make people believe damn near anything. And you know who said this publicly? Elon Musk. He has talked about how, like, say, especially to grow the population, which he's concerned with, especially when it comes to white people, obviously, that he wants people to have stressful times, and people are the most stressed. When they're the most stressed is when they're poor, right? And when they're when they pop out the most babies is when they're poor, uneducated, and when they're religious. That is the way for people to just constantly pop out babies, and that's what he wants to do, and that's what he's working towards. He said it publicly, man. Like I said, it's so easy now with AI chatbots and stuff like ChatGPT and whatever that can easily pull up stuff. Now with, like, say, algorithms, with YouTube and Google and stuff being kind of hard to search for things nowadays, it just is not good because people are paying to advertise stuff. So a lot of times that stuff pops up first. Where you're having these new AI search engines that are actually pulling up things that I need to know. It's like, okay, I needed to know about when Trump was talking about financial collapses being good for him, right? Because they'll buy up everything. I remember he talked about it in 2006 when I graduated high school. And then ChatGPT pulled it up immediately. It was like, oh, he said that in an audiobook. When he was talking about Trump University, he was talking about someone specific. And I was like, thank you. Found it immediately. I tried searching for that on my own before, and I couldn't find it. And then it just cuts through the bullshit right away with multiple sources verifying it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is crazy how good this is. And so at this point, there's no excuse. The only excuse is now you want to be dumb. You want to be ignorant. You want to just keep munching propaganda. You love being a sycophant and a simp, you know, whichever, if you're trying to gain something or you just like being fans of these fucking people. Which being fans of fucking politicians and political pundits is so crazy to me because I didn't grow up like that at all. Like, to me, it's like, no, you have a job to do for us, we the people. And now people are just like, oh, I want to buy merch of this person. I can't wait to buy the latest fucking Timcast merch or whatever the fuck. I can't wait to buy more MAGA hats and MAGA shoes and MAGA watches and MAGA guitars, MAGA Bibles and shit. And I'm like, I can't fucking believe this. It was a stretch for people to buy Obama shirts. Hell, my aunt gave me one. And I was like, I don't want this. But then I was touching the fabric and I was like, oh my God. I had never had a shirt that wasn't 100% pure cotton at that point. And I was like, this feels incredible. And side tangents, I'll end with this. I remember I got cock blocked by Obama because of that. So I went to this one party and this had to have been 2007, I imagine. I went to this one party. It was like a little kickback, and I hooked up with this one girl, and I remember I was wearing just like some metal band t-shirt or whatever. And then I saw her another day, maybe the next weekend or so, and I happened to be wearing that Obama shirt because I just, just throwing on a shirt. I don't give a fuck. I was already like, I don't trust Obama, dude. I don't trust the rhetoric. I do not trust this to just come out of nowhere and to be like, I'm hoping change when fucking the system needs to keep churning, like the status quo is gonna remain. I was already in tune. I was already becoming radicalized. But anyway, this chick was like, oh my God. So I'm assuming she was some fucking conservative. I didn't know. Nobody knew. We were just fucking, in 2007? Well, how old was I? 19 or something like that? We were just freshly out of high school, fucking not really people wearing their political colors like that. So it was just like a different thing. And then this girl was like, oh my God, you're into Obama? And I was like, not really, actually. I was just like, my aunt gave me the shirt and I really like it. It feels great. Explained to her literally what I just told you guys. She didn't believe me. And I was just like, yeah, I have no reason to lie. I don't give a fuck. But that caused a rift. And I was like, oh, well, thanks, Obama. Yeah, and I turned out to be, I feel like I feel pretty vindicated. Like, shit, I'll take an Obama over anything that's happened recently with this current administration. But, yeah, I just knew. I'm like, smooth talking dude comes out of nowhere, promises all this hope and change, says, oh, man, the first thing I'm going to do as president is pull the troops from Afghanistan. You can take that to the bank. That's a quote. And he didn't do it. And I was just like, yeah, I knew this guy was full of shit. Just going to keep it going, So far, the only fucking president that did anything was Biden pulling the troops out. And I'm like, God damn, I hate Biden, but he did it. But there's a lot of people who are brainwashed and they still had to spin propaganda and make it like a problem at all. To the point where it's like, fucking, I can't even make fun of certain people about certain things because they're doing some things that are objectively good. But these are things, these statistics and facts that people can verify at any time that they just refuse to do. They just don't care because they want to be on a team It goes back to being tribal. It comes back to being stupid and poor and angry and uneducated and having faith in politicians now, treating them as entities and deities and shit. And I'm like, damn. And it's working so well. It's working so well, and I just can't fucking believe it. I cannot believe how well it still works. It should be impossible at this stage. That's why I'm like, I'm the same. I'm like, bro, I don't want to debate anybody unless you want to talk about humanitarian shit. We can have discussions about that. But if you want to talk about this and who has a right to kill this and do this and justifiable slaughtering and ethnic cleansing and genocide, I'm like, fuck right the hell off, dude. Don't want to talk to you at all. You can go talk to other genocidal fucking maniacs. You guys can talk about semantics about people dying because you're fucking freaks and demons and you guys deserve each other. But that's all I got to say, man. I'm out of here.